Hello and welcome, this is rooflemonger, and in this video we have 7 essential tips to help get you started in BlazBlue cross tag battle. So we're going to be covering a lot of stuff. Some of it's kind of simple, some of it's a little more advanced, and hopefully within this video we can kind of get a good idea of the things you need to be looking for in this game. So without any further ado, let's get right to the first tip. So for our first tip, it's all about the universal reversal action. So everyone in the game, no matter who you are, even if it's different from character to character, you can universally hit your light button and your tag button at the same time, and you will get a reversal. Now the one thing about the reversal option is, universally, all reversals are air unblockable. So the enemy here is set to block everything, as you can see here. I can go for an overhead, it can block, go for a low, it's going to block, it doesn't matter what I'm going for, it's going to block. So what we're going to do here is set the enemy to jump, and once again here, blocking just fine. As soon as we do our reversal action, however, they're done for. So if the enemy is super jump happy, go for it. Now keep in mind, everyone's reversal action is different character to character. So some people go straight up like a traditional Dragon Punch, some people stay right in place where they are. So you have to keep in mind, and also some people have quick startup, some people have slow startup, so you gotta work all together. But if they're in the air and they're coming at you, you have them dead to rights, as you can use your move and they have no option to block, and the move itself is invulnerable, so they're not going to be able to stop you. Now with that in mind, I would highly suggest for tip number 2 is to check your command list for more than just the buttons, because there's a bunch of icons everywhere and they actually tell you more than just, how to do the move. So right here, Sacred Arrow, that's Ori's, or Orie, I suppose, her reversal action. And you see here these little icons. One is a person uppercutting someone, the other one's a bit of a cloak. So if the move has the cloak icon, the move always has some manner of invincibility. Could be full invincibility, could be head or leg invincibility, but there's always some manner of invincibility. And for this icon, means this move is not blockable in the air. And there's more icons than just that. So right here, we have the 2-me command order move. So you see here, someone hitting someone low, and someone hitting someone in the noggin. So for this move, requires a low block, and the other version requires a standing block. So you can find a lot of this stuff out just by the icons. Now, is every move covered? No, because certain moves have certain properties, like invincibility. Like, say, for some character, the down medium's their anti-air move. That down medium's not in the move list, so you gotta test that out. But the icons do tell you a bit about the move, so don't be afraid to have a look at them and, kind of suss out the deeper meaning of the moves. Now, our third tip for today is the Clash Assault. So standing heavy is everyone's universal overhead. Now the move might differ character to character, but you hit the enemy and your partner comes in and you do some damage, and specifically 4,000 damage. So it doesn't matter what the overhead is, if it's a big leaping attack, if it's a quick little thing, it's always going to be 4k damage, unless you do this little tip. So now we're going to use our trick. So now it says 4,480. So what did I do different? The same button I used to initiate this universal overhead. When they are falling from the peak, right here, hit your button. So the timing's a little difficult. I didn't get it right there. So right there. So hopefully I just slowed it down a little bit so you can see. When they are at their peak and just about to fall, hit the button again and you'll get some extra damage. It costs you nothing, so you might as well go for it every time. There's no penalty for failure, it's just free extra damage. So when it's up, give it a shot. So tip number 4 is that your backdash is invincible. So this will be like Street Fighter 4, MKX, your backdash does have invincibility to it. So it does seem to be a slightly different character to character, at least in my testing. But what makes this important other than just, backdashing to get out of some pressure and, hopefully kind of turning ties on your opponent is stuff like this. So when you knock out a foe, the enemy obviously comes in from off screen and hits you in the face, right? So if you backdash at the right moment, you can avoid that attack and maybe go for something else of your own choosing. So that's a more extreme example, because they obviously do have a way to get out. If they know it's coming, they can jump right at the same time. The foe is also able to block if you think you're going to hit them or something like that. It's not guaranteed, but you can set up little tricky setups like that, and it's all thanks to the invincibility of your backdash. So whether you want to do for setups like that, certain characters have really long backdashes that really help get you out of pressure. So work with what your character has and see what setups and viable ways to get out of pressure you can work with. Our next tip is about recoverable health and how to get around it a little bit. So most moves here, you can just see here, just like any tag game, you do your damage, part of that move will be red health, recoverable health. This is the case here, normals, you know, we're going to do super moves, same deal. Even if I do the super move raw, there's still going to be red recoverable health. However, EX moves, so moves that are, for the most part in this game, ending with your heavy attack, although not all moves in this game that are heavies are EX moves. EX moves, regardless, do not allow for recoverable health. They just do their flat damage, and none of that health can be recovered at all. So this is true across a lot of moves here. I can change my character, doesn't really particularly matter. It's not going to be recoverable at all. So keep that in mind when burning a bar for damage, that if you do an EX move, that damage is permanent and it's never coming back. No matter if they tag out, that damage is going to stay and stick around. So if you're really fearing someone's going to tag out, make sure to just toss in an EX move in a combo, or just raw, depending on the value of the EX move you have, because that damage is going to be there for the rest of the match. Now, our next move, you can call this plink tagging maybe. I'm not sure what the community is going to call this necessarily, but it's all about tagging in your partner from an assist that you don't even necessarily mean to connect, although depending on the setup it could connect, and then having them run amok while a totally different long animation is playing out. So say we do like Tigger's pile driver here. Normally we cannot call our assist in any way, shape, or form. I'm jamming on the assist button right now. Nothing's coming out. Same thing with like Gadget Finger. We call Gadget Finger, mash on assist, nothing's going to come out. Now, however, so what we're going to do here is go for Gadget Finger. I'm going to call my assist before the actual Gadget Finger comes out, and immediately tag right afterwards. There we go. So now that animation is played out, and during that whole time, I could be going left, right, high, low, whatever. The enemy is stuck in a whole fully different animation while I get to do my setup. So once again, I just tried right there. I failed. The timing is a little difficult. Got to be quick to do this. So this isn't just applicable to Tiger. This is to give you an idea. A lot of characters with longer animations, all you have to do is call the assist first before the animation reaches its zenith or even begins. Tag in the assist as the animation starts, the longer animation, and then you'll have full control of the other character while the longer animation is playing out. So find out what moves work best for your particular team combination and see what kind of setups you can get, because this is honestly going to be some dirty stuff that's going to leave some really greasy mix-ups. That one specific situation I just showed you is basically, if you follow along with Dragon Ball FighterZ, a thing that had to be patched out with Android 16, where you can do whatever you want to on your wake up, make you guess, high, low, left, right. So this can be done off any given Tiger combo, and I'm sure that's only the beginning of the possibilities. So the combo breaker mechanic. Now, if you've been playing it all at a certain point now, you've probably seen something like this happen to you, where the enemy basically can tag out for free and kind of smack in the noggin and get out of all the pressure. So it's very frustrating to deal with. I myself was intensely frustrated with it, especially in the open beta phase, but there is answers to it. So the first answer is probably the easiest, although it's not fully universal, is just do your reversal action when you see it. So if the enemy does it and you do your reversal action, you're just going to beat them. It's pretty cut and dry. Now, certain characters, I'm going to take her here, certain characters, right there, the tagging kind of traded evenly with it. They just bounce off each other, and depending on the timing, the other guy might actually recover before you, so you're still kind of dead to rights in that regard. So you got to watch out for that. Now, another option you have, besides just universal reversal, and once again, for some people, if it works, great, don't got to worry about it. Pretty much everyone has at least one move coded to be head invulnerable, meaning it's like basically an anti-air move. So if you do your move here, you'll either trade or go evenly, but from there, you can then do a special cancel and just kind of keep comboing out. And you kind of just do whatever from there. So it's a case-by-case thing. Now, once again, for some people with slower moves, might not be able to do it. And in the case of Tiger, the third hit of his auto combo here, you cannot cancel into that, and the reversal is not going to work for you sometimes. So what do we do in Tiger's case now? What is our options left? Well, the option is, you see that flash, you take the hit, and you call your assist, and the assist is going to do the dirty work for you. So in this case here, it's exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to try DP, we're not going to try to do our head invulnerable move, we're just going to call our assist when we see it. So there's still a lot of layers. So when you see it, you can DP, you can use your head invulnerable move, depending on the character, or you can just call your assists, and the assists will kind of deal with the incoming character for you, and then you can kind of pick up yourself from there and go from it. So the move is not as strong as it seems on the paper. However, certain characters, he says as he kind of crouches down with Taker, seem to be a little more suffering from it than others, but still, at the very least, you always have your assist to cover it, so you don't have to live in fear of it as much as you think you do, as the move is able to be dealt with. And there you have it. So this game's going to have a lot of tech coming out in the future. I pretty much can guarantee it. This is going to be a crazy game, especially with all the tag possibilities. Like what I showed you with Tager earlier on the video is only the beginning of what's possible. And we'll figure out a lot more as the time goes. But for now, I think these 7 tips will suffice to help you get started and show you kind of what's going on. So that concludes this video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video found you well. Go out and play some BlazBlue.